I think the first one usually is the Nova Bus LFS. Just takes off. Hungry, thirsty, back at it. Hey guys, this is Mr. Value, and today you're going to be traveling with my Valley Transit in the Valley, in the Annapolis Valley, Kentville. We are going to create a service that will provide not only for the core of Kings, you know, Kentville, Colebrook, etc., but we're going to go as far east as hopefully Hansport or Windsor, and we're going to go as far west as at least Greenwood. The population outside of that area is kind of a little lower, so probably not going to have much success there, but in those core regions between Windsor and Greenwood will be some population that we can kind of encourage to use service. So let's get started. I'm going to go expert mode. I know the area fairly well, my hometown, so I'll be able to deal with the lower startup capital, more demanding passengers, lower subsidies, more expensive research, and the biggest kicker is going to be employees as well. Employees are going to be a little bit harder to deal with. We're in a village, so we're going to choose a village setting. We're not a city. Kings County on its own barely touches city status, and it's so large. Let's not. Let's get going. Quick little start here. And where are we at? Beautiful Kentville. I'm going to zoom out here just kind of show you how far this map allows us. Almost there. My mouse doesn't go all the way. As far west as there's Rehab, there's Michelin in Waterville. Eastwise, we go pretty much to the town's edge of Wolfville, the further side. And northwise, you got Halls Harbor up here. Canning and Kingsport right over here. And as far south as, I believe, gotta zoom in, pardon my mouse. I also think it's part to do with the game as well, but it's mostly my mouse. Welton Landing, so I can just follow this road back up into Kentville. In Kings County, our depot is actually just right down in here, but for this, I am not the current business. I am my own. So I'm going to put my business where it makes sense. Out here in an industrial park, hanging with the rest of the big crews. We're going to put ourselves right there. That'll give us a nice little spot to have the depot, whichever you call it. Got a nice little plot of land. Got multiple exit points. We got Bob's Hardware. Is that all we got near us? It's a garage of some sort. Somebody's house. Playset. Nice. Alright. I'm going to play through the tutorial as if this is my first time playing. Just follow step by step. Not try to do too much extra, but at the same time trying to make best decisions for the company. Welcome to Kentville. We are very happy that you'll be taking care of our local traffic from now on. To support you, you'll receive a subsidy of 238% on all income. You will also receive a discount on all buses, spare parts, building, and equipment. Looking forward to a good cooperation. Well, thank you. Also, service center. Start here. You can adjust the times. I'm going to do that immediately. I'm going to match what's local right now at 8:30 to 4:30. And I'm going to skip a lunch break because here's the reason. I can have multiple service center employees and they can interchange, creating their own form of a break. Also, what business shuts down for an hour? No lie. Service center, it wants us to have at least one service desk, and for now, that's all we're going to put up. We will expand as time permits. I wish we could put these on angles, but for now, that will do. And then at least 2 seating options. I wish we had a bench. You know what? I hope someone hears that. I wish they had a bench. For now, we're going to give them those school chairs. And we're going to put one in the corner, one next to it, and one over in this corner, and one next to it. Kind of give a few seating options. Not comfortable, but hey, it's something. We're also going to briefly, just for the sake of it, build a wall to prevent our customers from coming behind the counter. And if this was 2020 and they decided to, we could literally put plexiglass there, but the desk serves as enough of a barrier, I guess. Next, we're going to build an office, starting with the corridor, minimum 5x3. The by 3, yes, 5 is a little small. I'm going to try to build that a little bit to match. I'm going to go with 12x3 to start. It's nothing major, just something. We're going to treat that as a hallway. We're going to have access to it through the service center for the employees. We're also going to have access to it from outside once we get all of our other buildings situated. From there, we're going to have an office. If you guys are playing this game, by the way, WASD is obviously forward, left, right, back. Forward, left, right, back. Q is rotate left. E, rotate right. And R is to rotate objects. So, office-wise, it makes sense to have the office right here. Minimum 6x4. And really, the office doesn't play as much a role anymore, so 6x4 is good for the time being. If we need to expand it, I'm going to leave a little room out here. Same with the service center. I'm going to leave a little room out this way. Just, to me, makes more sense. Door, we're just going to have a nice little door right there. And a standing desk. Scroll down here. Standing desk. Put you right in the corner. Actually, you know what? If we're going to put you right in the corner, let's go boom, boom. And then one, you can stand in the corner rather than have someone kind of standing over your shoulder. Next is a break room. Break room where they literally hang out. Relax, sit down, if you will. Something all of us love to do. So I'm going to make this one a little bit larger. I'm going to make it a 12x5 for now. Probably a waste of money this early in the game, but almost necessary. I'm going to have a door down here, and because it's so long, a door down here as well. And at least one seat. I'm going to give them the black armchairs and the gray ones as well. We're going to do 5. We're going to go here. I'm just going to stick this guy out here for a second. I'm going to move these around, make them a little more color logic. Alternate, if you will. Provide more chairs as we expand. Also expand this as we expand. If, you know, that makes sense. Next, we're going to build a kitchen. And the kitchen is going to be off the break room. And we're going to build the kitchen over here. Probably fairly large for a kitchen, but we'll take it. Accessible via at least one door. So another door right there. We're going to have like a quadrant of doors right there. And a fridge. I'm going to provide multiple fridges and multiple vending machines, just so that if, you know, someone's thirsty and someone else gets thirsty, they don't have to wait. Or if someone's hungry, someone else is hungry, they don't have to wait. Be nice to have a little seating option in there as well, but I don't think that's even in the cards. Yeah, there's the simple chairs, not the comfy chairs. No one wants to sit on a simple chair. Come on now. Next is a bathroom. The John. We're going to add that on, kind of on its own in the corner here for now. And we're going to provide it a tinted door, one tinted door right there. Eventually, the kitchen will connect because I will move things back, do that kind of thing. I just kind of figure, start this over a bit further. I don't have to move as much. And a toilet. I'm going to provide 2 toilets with a little bit of a gap in between. Come on, gotta be fair. And it doesn't say to include a sink. But I'm not vicious. I'm not a monster. So we're going to provide them with 2 sinks on behalf of 2 toilets. It just makes sense to me. Alright. Let's... Yeah, follow the instructions. Build at least 1 more piece of road. So we're gonna go street. Minimum 1. 1's not enough. Already, I can tell you, because you get a couple of parking spaces, you get all your other attire, if you will. It just doesn't work. For now, we're gonna build 2. We're gonna have to build more, but we're gonna start with that. We're gonna build some parking spaces. We're gonna go boom, boom. I'm gonna start us off with 5 parking spaces. I'm gonna buy 5 buses. It says to buy 2. I'm gonna buy a few more just because I know my first run is gonna already require a few. We're gonna buy the largest ones because as much as they do use up more fuel, they have the most number of seats significantly. This is probably almost as close as it gets to what we have around here to begin with. Give or take, we do have a Nova bus, but outside of that, it's pretty much new Ramses are as close as we're gonna get. So we're gonna go and buy 5 of these for $63,500. That'll drop us quite a bit, but we're gonna do such. All right, so guys, I loaded this template in the cutscene there. I have a couple of other templates for other projects in there, and I don't want to spoil anything for you guys for the future. This is the standard template for the Valley Value Gaming New Ramses bus. Blue, white, some logos, apply. I'm going to start everything so that it says that I did this, and they load in 1 at a time, which is nice. So we're going to let those load in, do their thing. We're going to also get ready to hire some staff. The first thing you need to do when you're hiring staff is provide them with a place to put their things. So under the corridor or in the hall, you can purchase lockers. Now, it only asks for 6, but I'm going to provide 5 more to fill up that hallway on the one side. Eventually, when I need to, I will put more on the other side. But for now, I've already got myself down to 70,000 from 150. So I've used up almost $80,000. Not bad considering the buses take up the majority of the cost, but what I'm trying to do is limit the spending right now so that when I need to buy buses, I have the money right there. When hiring, you can filter. I don't care how much they want because I'm going to offer them what I'm going to pay them. I do care how friendly they are, but it's not the number one thing. Name don't matter to me. Skill is what's important. And I see there's not a lot of happiness and friendliness, within the somewhat skilled novice drivers. Tyler Ramos, he's novice. I'm going to offer novice bus drivers $14 an hour. And I will increase this as their skill gets up there. A $1 per every skill level. So trainee, 13. Novice, 14. Advanced, 15. And expert, 16. Give you a hire. And then we're also going to hire Mr. Villanueva. I'm going to guess that's a Mr. Villanueva. It could be a Mrs. I apologize. We're going to hire them. Now, I will hire a trainee. And as much as they don't have skill, they're not asking for a lot. And same with this trainee here. They're not asking for a lot. The skill's low. Skill comes with time. We can do a couple of different things. And I'll show you here shortly. But we're going to hire 2 more staff members. And you know what? Amelia will hire her as well. And we're going to go in here and you can see that we have $13 drivers and $14 drivers. And for a fact, I know I'm going to need 3 buses on the road today. So Carlos is not going to get trained yet. But Aria and Amelia, you can send them off to training right away. And that's what we're going to do. 12 hours. That'll put us till about 1:30 in the morning or so. I don't have any runs out on the road at that time. I think we're fine. So we're going to do that. And we're going to do that. Go back to hire people. Now, when you go out of my employees and back into hire employees, new people show up. So I'm going to hire 1 more. That way I have more drivers than buses. And that's kind of a crucial thing that helps keeps the stress level down. So Daniela Mora wants 1440, but looks like going to be happy and friendly with 14. Accepted, beauty. It's not always a guarantee. The lower this bar, chances are the less likely they are going to say, hello, I'll work for you. In the meantime, mechanic, it wants us to hire at least 1. And for the beginning, not going to lie, I'm probably going to want 2. Because I'm going to eventually, very quickly, once my first research is done, hire or purchase used buses that are of more expensive purchase up front. So I want a skilled mechanic, but I also want someone who's decently friendly. So I think Jose Turner is a good option. Now, mechanics deserve 50 cents more per hour than the drivers because they make sure the buses are able to go out on the road. The drivers just put the buses on the road. And then Anna Gomez, same thing. Very good skills. So we're going to go there. Going to go back in here. 1450. Both are pretty good, pretty happy. To be fair, in the beginning, I don't need the mechanics. And I'd rather expert or as close to spend a little bit more money, send them out on training as well. Get the training done early. It saves you a long run. Back to hire, we want at least 1 researcher. I'm going to be honest with you. During research, they get stressed out really quick. As you can see, we don't have skill and happiness to that same extent. So these guys are going to make 50 cents less than the drivers because research is important, but at the same time, I'm not going to need you forever. We're only going to hire the 1 for now. Herlinda Mejia. And cleaners, it says 1. We only got 5 buses right now. 1 is perfectly fine. Skill, friendliness, both of it really doesn't matter. They're going to go $1 less than drivers. Novice, 13. Welcome, Teresa Mitchell. And last but not least, service employees. Friendliness is key. Friendliness is key. They're going to make as much as the researchers, 50 cents less than the drivers. Now this person, I'm dropping $1.30 off their desire, but they're going to accept. So now I have as many employees as I do lockers. So we're going to continue on. While they're coming in to do whatever they're going to do, we're going to build with the street. Going to build that much for now, and it wants us to build a gas station. So we're going to build the gas station right there. Next, a bus wash. Doesn't matter what size you build. The non-large one here will wash both small and medium. Articulateds and whatnot will be in this one. I don't know if I'm going to even need the large bus wash. So for now, I'm going to go with a regular size bus wash. The lifting platforms, we need 1 minimum. And for the small buses, we need a regular lifting platform. If we get rid of the lifting platform and go only with a big, it's not going to lift the smaller buses because of where the chassis and all that is. So, place you right there. The reason I put it out here a little bit is I'm going to build my warehouse right in behind. Next step. Let's go down. We're going to grab the warehouse. Spin around so I can see what I'm doing here. For now, we're just going to place it right there. We will expand it as we have the opportunity. I'm realizing they can't find their way in. I'll go fix that in a minute. I said I was going to, and I didn't. So we're going to put a door. We're also going to put a door right here to make it easier for our mechanic to get to and from the parts very quickly. We need at least 1 package shelf. Each package shelf only holds 6 items, though. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place 3. Because, again, my plan is to purchase used buses. Next thing it wants me to do is plan my first bus route. But before I do that, let's grab a hold of that tinted door and let's get a couple of doors on this guy. First door right there. We're going to throw another one inside the office. And into the break room. And for now, out the kitchen. Now when I hit the button, there we go. They can find their way. One still says they can't find their way. Oh, no, there we go. Okay, I was going to say, you found your way by now. So, the next step is to build a bus route. And like I said, I know this area fairly well. And there's quite a few options around. But I want to start with something that's going to at least build up the population. You see down here, it says the willingness of the population to use public transport is 75. That means that they're more demanding. In regular, it offers anywhere between 25 and 50. I'm getting a 75. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to handle a 75% rate off the bat. So the first thing I want to do is I want to pull people out of the North Kentville region, bring them down into the biggest shopping area in the entire Annapolis Valley, New Minas. With the slimmest of malls, there's like 66% empty rate. It's not good. It's not good. When you go to create a new route, like bus routes, new route, and then it's going to ask you, do you want to create your own, or do you want to create a public service line that meets requirements specifically for those public services? For example, South Waterville is available right away. There are 5 requirements connected to South Waterville, which is right here. 215 buildings with 19 points of interest. 1 click in New Minas would be enough for that. It's going to be Monday to Friday every 90 minutes from 4:36 a.m. to... Why is there later runs on Sundays? Anyways, till 19:36 or 7:36 p.m. Saturdays, Sundays, 4:36 to 11:36 p.m. So there's more runs on Saturdays and Sundays. That's actually quite interesting. As you get into the higher ones, you can't accept them because you need more trophies to unlock the missions, but you get things like Connect to Sunken Lake, 433 buildings, which is fun because I don't see a single building in Sunken Lake, except for the lake itself. So that might be why. I don't know. Atlanta, same thing. Yes, for those that didn't know, we have an Atlanta here in Nova Scotia. There's Sheffield Mills, where you can go watch the Eagles fly. You can go watch the Eagles fly. And then there's Atlanta right up here. It's kind of out of the way. It's a nice little community, though. Been there a couple of times. Drive through on a regular. There's not much going on, but like I said, we're going to start with our own route. And in this case, you can start the runs and end the runs wherever you want. You can. The game generally asks you, if you don't have it right near each other, if you want to have a return trip. So you can play in one direction and then go back. And that works most of the time. But in this case, it's not going to, because this is going to be a loop route. But the spots are going to be actually quite near each other, so we're going to be okay there. First thing we're going to do, for those that know the area, this is not going to be the same as what it actually is in real life, so I apologize ahead of time for that. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start right at the school. School's an easy spot because there's a pullover spot out of the way. We're going to bring the bus over this way. We're going to come up Middle Dike. Go up Scott Drive. Gonna go up Oak Dean. This is where things go a little bit different than what actually happens. Going to go... It's a little tough because there's not a lot of great options for indirect driving. Gonna go over here. Gonna loop around to the hospital. Then we're gonna bring it down into Kentville. Bring it down right about... Oh, we're gonna put one here. And then one over here. And this is the part where it becomes tricky. If we do a return trip, yes, it'll do all of this backwards. But to do this part, it would go here, up to here, and then back around. That's where things become difficult. So when I bring it back up, it's actually going to go here. And I can click yes, and I can come back and edit that. But that's a little bit of extra work that is virtually unnecessary. I'm going to bring the service into the new minus region. It's actually a little close to the lights. There we go. And we're going to bring it along the main road. I love how it calls it Tim Hortons when Tim Hortons is over here. Superstore is here. Entertaining. Now, around here in real life, they bring it as close to the businesses as they possibly can. And to be fair, it probably is faster, but in this game, it does give the ability to go up the main drag of a road fairly easily. And that's what we're going to do. And same thing in here. We do have the option of going up here, which I thought might even be better, but then when you get down to about here, like in here, it becomes almost impossible because the ground is so tilted. So we're gonna bring it back up the main road here. We're gonna go across the road from the credit union. This, we're gonna go up to here. We're gonna add a waypoint. Bring it up and around there. Just, again, trying to create real life idea of continuity. And I could keep going. I'm not going to. Bring it back this way. And then what we can do is click on every single one on the way back, keeping the stops in the same vicinity. And then with the exception here. And bring it back up to here. And that creates a full loop, and that's why I put the first waypoint in here to go up and around. And this covers majority of the North Kentville region. We're gonna call this one Route NK. We're just gonna do all of the routes with names. instead of numbers, just to try to keep everything uniform in a way. Because if you go with numbers, then, well, what is 1 could be 2, could be 5. Not to confuse anybody with the local stuff. So, route NK it is for North Kentville. And as many routes as possible, I'm going to drag them through this core right here. Stop here, 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 here. There is going to be one at some point that will service... I really don't have to with the game. Never mind. I'm going to cancel that. I was going to say service the extremities, but there's really not much of an extremity outside of this literal core line right here. So all of the buses are going to kind of service this core, and I'm not going to really have any major transfer points. Not going to really stress about that too much. So we did a full loop. What's it say for population? Just let it calculate. Sometimes takes a few seconds. There we go. So the route is figured out. At least 2 for that interval. I'm going to do roughly every 30 and 20. So 45 up to 75 per tour. That's a good start. It could get worse, could get better with that 75%. The only way it's going to get better is if we provide good service for these guys. So we're going to do just that. We're going to go advanced here just to make it easier. We're going to do a MF and we're going to do an SS. And that's going to provide our intervals, first ride, last ride, etc. First ride during the week is going to be 6. Last ride during the week is going to be 22. 1 in every 30 with an every 20 rush hour. I could go a little more advanced with it. I'm not going to go too particular. And down here, we're going to add a minute at the hospital. We're going to add by the Sushi Fang, because it's an easier spot to stay pulled over for a second. We're going to add 2 minutes there. The Giant Tiger is where we're going to continue straight forward from there. So I'm going to put this the 30-minute mark. I'm going to turn off my destinations because it always just chooses random places. We want one at bus stop. I'm going to rename that. And Giant Tiger. And on the way back through, at the same spot, we're going to add 2 minutes there. It brings it to about 45. It's perfect no matter what because it's over the 40-minute mark. And it's less than the hour mark. So it's not going to interfere with either of these. And in turn, we're going to give it a 3-minute break regardless. So if we do make any adjustments, it's going to stay that way. We're going to copy this, come over here, paste this, same thing. Just got to come in and turn off all these random destinations. And we are going to do this as 7 to 21. Every 45. So on Saturday, our last run's going to be, we're going to make it 21:15. So that we get one more in there. Whereas on Friday, the last run is 22, goes to 22:45. Going to keep that every half hour, every 45 here. It's a pretty good set for now. I can always make adjustments as the time progresses. One day in this game can have a lot of impact. So by the time we even reach Saturday, will we need as much as we got going? Well, I don't know. We'll see. We're going to confirm that. We can edit the route again. We can edit the timetable. I'm not going to do any of that because to edit the stop, I don't need to go in there. We're going to go activate bus route now. We're going to leave it paused for a second. I'm going to click on this bus stop. And I am going to rename it NSCC King's Tech. Now, sometimes it picks it up. Sometimes it doesn't. In this case, it didn't. Going to back out of that. And then when we zoom in, someday, King's Tech. Beauty. And like I said, just loop there. Wolfville has quite a population. I think I'm going to try to target that next. And then when you come out to Colebrook, well, that way too far. When you come out to Colebrook, there's a fair amount, especially up in here. It kind of just has right in here and up the main drag. There's a business park in through here where we are. Gonna have a little something going on there at some point. Probably just have a little loop through here that goes down into town. And again, pretty much gonna have everything kind of drag down into here. This section could become a little hub as well, but for now, we're gonna leave shopping as the main core of it. So we need 3 shifts as I projected. Before we do anything else, I do want to go back into the drivers for a second. We have 6 drivers. There's a bunch of them going home. There's a couple on the toilet. There's a couple training. I want to get this last trainee on training. He'll come back a significant amount later, about an hour and a half later than the other 2. But that's still early in the morning. No biggie. Gonna do that. These guys are developing stress. Probably from not being able to get in the building. I'm probably not gonna lie. That's probably it. Yeah. So we're gonna put Carlos on training. He's already on his way home anyway, so he's just gonna head straight to training from home. Route NK 1550. So you can see here, the first run will start at 1600 or 4 p.m. Doesn't matter at this current very moment of what bus we assign because they're all the same. We're going to see what happens. Our service center employee is there. Did I hire 1 or 2? 1. Let's see if I can hire another one. No, every employee needs a locker. That might help. I can't believe I used up all the lockers already, but that, it does make sense at the same time. Where's lockers? There it is. Just do it. May as well. Pause here for a second. I want to watch all that happen. Novice 1350. You're going to be out of the equation. You're not overly friendly, but I'll have it happen. 1350. Speeds it up a little bit for every level they're at. And we're going to see in a second there he comes. We can follow these guys quite well, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to speed forward to 4 p.m. 1600. We're going to watch this guy go around, see how everything goes for the utilization. On day 1, I don't expect it to be too crazy, but we're about to enter the rush hour from 1600 to 1900. A little offset from what I'd actually consider the rush around here, but hey, we'll take it. Up to 5 already. All right, I'll take that. I'll take that. Just going to speed it up a little bit. Watch it go through here. Going to see we should hit double digits at some point. We may not necessarily on this first run. I think we got up as far as 8 so far. There's 9. There's 10. So we hit double digits. I don't think we're going to go much above that. But 14. It's a simple little loop. There's actually not a lot of stops, not gonna lie, but it does the trick. It's not too terrible. This guy coming down had yellow happening for a little bit almost. He was almost at 33% utilization. So again, I don't expect the buses to really have too much going on. 1 trip, 53 passengers, not bad. 30.2% of the network is covered so far. It wants us to try to increase to 34. If we do, we get 10 trophies. The other stuff gets us similar type. Now, one of the things I already forgot was we can go ahead and do some research. I want to research that for solo bus. We can also go into the staff and do the work schedule for mechanics, researchers, and cleaners. We're going to have it where 1 mechanic stays on at all times. Now, right now, we don't have a mechanic on because they're both training. Mechanics, I'm going to want from 8 to 5, half an hour outside of the service center employees at any given time. Researchers, I'm not going to touch it right now. I'm really not. I want to get that research as much as possible over those next 3 hours. And cleaners, I am going to bump them for 11 to 8. 1 outside of that. And same with the researchers, 0 outside of that right now. Specifically, I don't need researchers to be here on a heavy basis. In the settings, we can also set up automatic cleaning, but we got to take care of that research first, because having the staff do that stuff on their own requires them to be taught through research how to do it. Who would have thought? The other research we have available right now is reduce fuel consumption by 10%. Basically because we have coverage of 25%. I'm not overly too concerned at the moment to doing such. But at some point, fuel consumption is fairly high in the beginning. So every time they come back, we're going to have to do something about it. Alrighty, so I started the time, doing the research, chugging away slowly. Probably won't finish by the 8, especially when you go all the way around. You have access at any given route, but bus is just flying out here. After the 1900, 2 of these buses will stay out. 1 will come back, I think. Yeah, it should. So the 3 is only during the initial, and then from there it's everything else happening. So 25,000 in the bank. Buses out there traveling. Chugging away on the research. Making sure that we have the ability to get those solo bus options. I think the first one usually is the Nova Bus LFS. Just takes off. Hungry, thirsty, back at it. That's the way to be. Chugga, chugga, chugga. On that note, guys, there's not really much else to do but let the game play a little bit. We need some money. We need those buses unlocked. Probably happen in the next day where it's already 1920. Things are happening. Final tours are getting done. And, yeah. One of our buses is back. We'll take care of that stuff in the next one. And for the most part, I'd like to think things are going well so far. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment. In the meantime, my researcher, did he already leave? Or is that them there? Slow her down, slow her down. My researcher went home before 8. Well, ain't that some bull? Alright. Take it as it is. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care.